Hi, and welcome to It Figures. Tonight I will be reviewing Shaun from Shaun of the Dead. I've seen these figures around quite a lot lately, and they are starting to become sort of the Funko of these large figures, and they are called VINYL IDOLZ. They are made by a company called Vinyl Sugar. So first let's take a look at the packaging. Now this is a tall figure. The packaging here is great for those who like to collect figures and not open the box. It has a very large open space in front that you can see pretty much the entire figure. On the back it pretty much gives you a summary of who Shaun is and a little bit about the movie, a picture of the figure as well. Again, this box is very collector friendly. You can open it up, there's no glue, and you can remove the figure and then put it back in. So it seems like recently I've gotten away from the more realistic figures to the more cartoonish figures, and actually I'm okay with that. So here we have Simon Pegg, who played the character of Shaun in the horror comedy Shaun of the Dead. So first let's take a look at the sculpting. Obviously this is Simon Pegg. If someone showed me this figure, I would instantly know who it was and where it came from, even in this cartoonish form. The sculpt here is actually really good. This actually reminds me of what Simon Pegg would look like if Shaun of the Dead had been made in stop motion. It very much has a claymation look to it, but at the same time the sculpt is really good. He has his tag from the electronic store he worked in. Zoomed up here you can even see how well all the writing is, and the paint's great here. Speaking of paint, he got a little red on him. You also have sort of a soft sculpt on his face. There's not a whole lot of details here, but what there is, you can obviously tell it's Simon Pegg. And if you remember the movie, he has the dart sticking out of the side of his head. Again, really nice sculpt and even great painting on the end of the dart. There isn't too much detail on the rest of his clothes as in paint. Basically you have his tie and his belt, which you can kind of see there. I love the sculpt of his hands holding the cricket bat, and it actually has some blood at the end of it too. Pretty cool. The only drawback to this figure is there's zero articulation. At least the Funko figures have their heads that move, but these guys, nope, they're just straight up statues. They come with a really nice, gigantic base for them to stand on. It's really well done. It's a great base. There's two little pegs that actually took a few minutes to get his feet to fit into, but he's not going anywhere. It's very snug on there. Really love the sculpt. It's a lot of fun, and even though it's cartoonish, it still manages to get a lot of cool detail in here. And like I said, it's pretty much the stop motion version of Shaun. There is zero articulation on Shaun, which again, I mean, I don't mind because it's pretty much a statue, and this is pretty much for collectors only. It's not just for kids to play around with. So in all, I would have to give Shaun from Shaun of the Dead a 4 out of 5. Only reason he gets a 4 is because of the lack of articulation. If he had articulation, this would have been a perfect 5. So if you liked tonight's It Figures, make sure you support the channel by subscribing to us, and I will see you next time on Horror Month edition of It Figures.